Chapter 5974. After Dongxing heard this, he clenched his fist, felt his divine power, and said to himself, "Invincible! Ha ha! They have great confidence in their own strength." He even felt that he was about to become a savior. Little did they know that there would be a fierce battle waiting for them soon. Which mysterious woman Dongxing and Wanyan brought, entered Qianshui city on the front foot, and a strong man of the Seven Tribulations realm came to Qianshui city, with dozens of lords of the Six Tribulations realm on the back. "How about Jisan's news?" The leader of the Seven Tribulation realm powerhouse said coldly. A cosmos master of the Six Tribulations realm behind him hurriedly clasped his fists and reported. "The three of Tianzi No. 2 are hiding in Shuilong Hutong, and they will meet with Jisan in 3 days. Okay, just wait for 3 more days, and get out of Qianshui city." The powerhouse of the Seven Tribulations realm under the black robe has blood in his eyes. This time chasing down Dongxing and Wanyan, he is the strongest fighting force. The heavenly rank killer of the Gorfine Temple, when he was the Lord of the Universe, killed the same rank. Although it has become a scattered robbery now, it still maintains the level of the peak combat power of the Seven Tribulations. Divine power as high as 2 million. Originally, according to the standards of the Gorfine Temple, Sanjia could choose to retire, but because of the appearance of the God of Life, he had to play the sword again. Earn life force, stay alive, waiting for the resurrection secret. Not just him, except for those who are lucky enough to get the life force of Danbao and Jian Wushuang. The other powerhouses in the space and time are desperately searching for the power of life. No way. The road to resurrection, I don't know when it will be created. All those scattered robbery can do now is to maintain their own vitality. The Lord of the Universe also has its own pressures. If you are not sure, you will not cross the calamity, suppress your own realm, and go to the calamity when you have to. Before the calamity, the power of life will also be prepared in advance, in case it is needed from time to time. The power of life is very precious in the first place. The current price is even higher. At the beginning, I bought a lot of life force scattered robbery from Jian Wushuang, and found that it only needs to sell 1 achievement to exchange the treasure that was spent at the beginning. Gain 90% of life force in vain. Even so, no one does it. The power of life is now at the peak. But this is also short-lived. Once the path of resurrection is created, at that time, the force of life will explode. Although it is not worthless, it will not be as high as it is now, and the price is so high that it stops at the 8 Tribulations realm. The key is that money is hard to buy. But even so, few people dared to pay attention to Jian Wushuang. Of course, there will also be some of the 8 Tribulation realms that are about to fall, and they have reached a state of madness. I want to find Jian Wushuang. It's just that these 8 Tribulations realm powerhouses are almost shrinking in divine power, and finding Jian Wushuang is not an opponent. But there is no better way. They are the most desperate. Life is like that. Danbao is also working hard to create a road to resurrection. It just takes a long time, and this is impossible. For the Realm King, it is enough to have the God of Life. Creating the power of resurrection is only a matter of time. Now some people die, it's nothing. From ancient times to the present, I don't know how many 8 Tribulations realm Tianjiao has fallen. Outside the 1,000 Mercury star territory, a silver pyramid whirled into the silent void. The two of them can run quite well, and they're all here. Wuxia couldn't help but exclaimed. The 2 cosmos masters of the 6 Tribulations realm were able to escape from the core of the heavenly Tsang eternal realm to Qianshui Xing while being hunted down, and at such a fast speed. Amazing indeed. After all, the 2 are not like Jian Wushuang, who has a pyramid left by a metal light brain. Flying alone would probably take several epochs. In addition to being chased and killed, the time required will be doubled. After a quarter of an hour, resist Qianshui Xing, and you will be able to see these 2 people. Jian Wushuang's thought force moved, and the pyramid broke into the Qianshui star territory. If it wasn't for keeping a low profile, he would be able to reach Dongxing and Wanyan in an instant. Qianshui star territory, in the south of Tiansong eternal realm. The 2 of them entered the eternal realm of heaven by force, without looking at the road at all. So when they reached the eastern edge of the eternal realm of heaven, after Karma found Dongxing and Wanyan, it only took 3 days to cross most of the eternal realm of heaven. I am afraid that this speed can only be achieved by the ancient existence of the eternal realm of the sky. Well, Wu's brows jumped at this time, and a wicked smile leaked out. They seem to be in trouble. It's hard to resist for a quarter of an hour. Jian Wushuang also used his mind power to search for Qian Mercury. Only then did they realize that Dongxing and Wanyan were being besieged by a group of strong men. The fight was extremely intense. He and Wu used the projection of the pyramid to lie on the chair with their legs crossed, watching Dongxing and Wanyan being besieged. From time to time, I also commented on the fighting strength of the two. If Dongxing and Wanyan saw it, they would definitely vomit blood. Yes, both of them have a basic power of around 1 million, and they can be comparable to the average 7 Tribulation Realm powerhouses when they burst out. It seems that Lord Jiawang has given him a good chance. Jian Wushuang is very satisfied with this. Get stronger together. It's better than being strong alone. Wu took a sigh of tea and said calmly, if it wasn't for the woman next to me, the two of them should be able to escape. In the projection, Dongxing and Wanyan fought separately. Which black-robed 7 Tribulation Realm powerhouse is Dongxing fighting against? Wanyan blocked more than a dozen strong men of the same rank. Unfortunately, both of them have scruples and can't let go, and they have already suffered a lot of injuries. Jian Wushuang looked at it for a while, and felt that the projection looked too boring. With a move in his heart, the power of the pyramid was instantly stimulated to its peak, and in an instant, it was like a move, reaching the sky above Qian Mercury. Don't lie down, go down and help. He patted Wu and motioned to go down and have a look together. Wu moved his wrist and sighed. It's a pity that it's too weak, otherwise I'd be able to play a game. Indeed, which of the heavenly rank killers of the Gorfine Temple? The strength of the two of them is indeed not enough to see. Only 2 million. Under the normal state of Wu, he can beat the opponent violently. There is no difficulty. The two stood on the petals of the pyramid together, and slowly descended from the pyramid. At this time, they didn't feel the time-space storm brought by the pyramid's relocation in the pyramid. After they went out, they actually felt the violent time-space power. Most of the entire Qianshui city was destroyed. That's why Jian Wushuang came here in a low-key manner. But Dongxing and Wanyan couldn't stop it. If they don't come again, their lives will be lost. Jian Wushuang can't control that much. He can only stimulate the peak power of the pyramid and teleport here. https:// Please remember this book's first domain name. Apex Novel Mobile Version Reading URL. Chapter 5975. The pyramid suspended in the sky above Qian Mercury has infinite power. The mighty swept the entire Qian Mercury. Except for the remaining half of Qianshui city, the rest of the place was completely cleaned up. Jian Wushuang, who has experienced the journey of Wanlu, has also restrained the killing, and did not threaten those weak practitioners. Several auras rose up in Qianshui city, and there were even 2 auras of the 8 Tribulations realm. But it's all looting. Not the Lord of the Universe of the 8 Tribulations realm. Being able to become the Lord of the Universe in the 8 Tribulations realm hardly needs to avoid the enemy. Anyone who joins a party at will is rushing to ask for it. Looting is different. Limited value. These 2 powerhouses in the 8 Tribulations realm are the overlords of Qian Mercury. Now that Jian Wushuang's pyramid has destroyed half of the planet in an instant, the 2 of them can't sit still. But not wanting to get out. Instead, prepare to escape. To be able to operate such a powerful treasure. At least it is the master of the universe of the 8 Tribulations. And he is also the top master of the 8 Tribulations realm universe. Otherwise, it is impossible to mobilize such a powerful treasure. Just like Jian Wushuang can't really mobilize the Guantian chessboard. The 2 experts in the 8 Tribulations realm stared at the 2 figures that appeared below the pyramid. Their expressions moved, and they said in surprise, 7 Tribulations realm? What the 2 of them saw was naturally the realm of Wuxia. Jian Wushuang's aura is completely restrained, And now even the 8 tribulations realm cannot feel his existence. Can only be seen with the naked eye. The 2 powerhouses in the 8 tribulations realm found that Wuxia only had the 7 tribulations realm, but they couldn't feel the breath when they saw Jian Wuxia, like a puppet. Immediately not afraid. At the same time, the killer of the Gorfine Palace, who was still besieging Dongxing and Wanyan, also stopped. The countless powerhouses on Qianshuixing all looked at Jian Wuxia and Wuxia. Under the roar of the pyramid, the 2 walked over. Full of oppression. My God, what kind of treasure is this? In the crowd below, someone stared at the pyramid in disbelief, only to feel that the power above was endless. You can suppress the 7 tribulations realm powerhouse at will. And most of the powerhouses on 1000 Mercury are in the 4 tribulations realm. The 7 tribulations realm is hard to see. This time Qianshui city was destroyed, and only dozens of 7 tribulation realms appeared. No matter what the treasure is, this is not something we can touch. The Shuangshui Qianshui has come out, and there will be a good show later. In the crowd, a strong figure of 6 tribulations realm kept retreating into the void. Just stopped. There are also many people who left Qian Mercury directly. Worry about implicated yourself. Can watch more lively. Most of them come from the forces in the eternal realm of the sky, and they are all wanted. Everyone is desperados, the kind that don't want to die. This kind of big scene may never be seen in a lifetime, and naturally he is reluctant to leave. Whoa! Qianshui Shuangxing came together and blocked the way of Jian Wuxia and Wuxia, and said in a cold tone, "This fellow Taoist, who destroyed my Qianshui Xing for no reason, looked down on our brothers? It's just some rubbish, there's no need to be so serious." Wuxia scratched his ears, his tone indifferent. One of the 2 saints, the great sage Li Tian, has the most fiery temper. Hearing that Qian Mercury is trash, he will act immediately. But he was stopped by the great sage Feng Tian next to him. However, the complexion was pulled down, and the voice became sullen. The 2 of them hadn't shot for a long time after diving for such a long time. I didn't expect to meet such a disrespectful person. Fellow Taoist is quite right. What was destroyed is indeed rubbish, but we have to see whose it is. The great sage Fengshen's tone was cold, and the divine power on his body kept surging. It's been around 5 million. After hearing this, Wuxia quickly made an embarrassed expression, waved his hand and said, "I'm sorry, it's my problem. When I just cleaned the garbage, I forgot to send the 2 of you away together." Guyu. The great sage Litian couldn't hold it any longer and shot directly. Too deceiving. Before the opponent made a move, Wuxia had already made his move. The power of the Realm King exploded directly. Divine power directly reached 6 million. One person suppressed Qianshui Shuangxing, wandering with divine power. He also destroyed a lot of the remaining half of Qianshui city. This scene scared the crowd watching the lively, and quickly backed away. But still some unlucky did not have time to escape, and were swept into the crack of time and space by the vortex of divine power. The divine body directly turned into powder. Standing on the spot, Jian Wuxia covered his mouth, coughed dryly, and said to himself, "It's too rude to do this." It may be that Wuxia lost to him, and he is a little resentful. Now he is venting his anger with Qianshui Shuangxing. Wuxia and Qianshui fought fiercely. Jian Wuxia was not idle either. His figure flashed to the void of Qian Mercury. "Dongsheng, brother Wanyan, you still recognize me?" Seeing Jian Wuxia with no breath in front of him, Dongsheng and Wanyan did not dare to recognize each other. After hearing Jian Wuxiang's words, his eyes turned red. "Brother Wuxiang, it's really you." Dongsheng was a little excited and rushed over. His eyes were full of traces of time. Millions of epochs have not seen each other. Although they are the first batch of fifth-order emperors in the original universe, they have not experienced too much. When you come to the ancient moon time and space, it is really the same as the second life. Zhen Yang is because he couldn't bear the baptism of the years, and finally wiped out his sincerity. Fortunately, Dongsheng and Wanyan are together, warning each other about themselves and their hometown. Only resisted until now. I'm late. Jian Wuxia patted the 2 of them on the shoulders. There is sincerity in his eyes. Even if they forget the promise they once made, they will not be blamed. After all, hundreds of epochs have experienced, and the mentality has already changed. The three recognize each other. For a time, the memory was also pulled back to the thing about the Temple of Magic Sound. At that time, Dongxing was the first to enter the Temple of Magic Sound. Later it was Jian Wushuang and Wan Yan. The three walked onto the single plank bridge together. Everything went by too fast. Which of the 7 Tribulations realm killers in the Gorfiend Hall saw Jian Wushuang's heart sinking, and immediately told the news, and sent it back to the Gorfiend Hall. He wasn't stupid either. Seeing Jian Wushuang walking out of the pyramid, Wuxia beat up 2 strong people in the 8 Tribulations realm alone. Then Jian Wushuang will not be too bad. Naturally, he did not dare to make another move. Even wanted to leave without saying a word. Humph! The moment he wanted to leave, he was shocked by Jian Wushuang's thought power. With a cold snort, the 7 Tribulations realm powerhouse was directly set in the void. This brought a lot of surprise to Dongxing and Wan Yan. Jian Wushuang said solemnly, "Should I help you kill him?" Although he suppressed the killing now, swords are rarely used, but will not be soft-hearted. Since they had hunted down Dongxing and Wan Yan, they wouldn't let them slip away so easily. He condensed 2 groups of life force, and injected them into Dongxing and Wan Yan's bodies, and said indifferently, "Don't be under pressure. Look at the northern time and space. No one can threaten us now." Chapter 5976. This sounded extremely arrogant, but it also depends on who said it. Jian Wushuang is qualified to say so. Looking at the northern time and space, he really is not afraid of anyone. Who dares to threaten him? He's also a miserable man. He's just the killer of the Gorfiend Palace. Let him go. When Dongxing spoke, there were vicissitudes in his eyes. The 2 of them were also the killers of the Gorfiend Temple, but also force helpless. Controlled by the Gorfiend Temple. Later, because of a mission, he was going to kill a mysterious woman. When the 2 of them were about to start, the blood drop in their bodies was removed by which woman, and they left the Golem Palace. Which woman is the one they both protect? The plain-clothed woman standing beside her looked ordinary, but her colorful eyes contained a mysterious aura that was hard to detect. Jian Wushuang already knew about Dongxing and Wan Yan and Wuxia. After glancing at the mysterious woman, his heart moved slightly, as if he had seen through the secrets in his body. But it didn't say it out. Instead, he turned his head to look at the killer of the Gorfiend Temple frozen in the void, and said coldly, "You don't have blood droplets in your body. Although my brother can't bear to kill you, he can't escape the crime." Jian Wushuang's eyes burst out with a dazzling light, which directly shattered the divine body of the old man. But it was not fatal. But losing a lot of vitality, as a robbery realm, is tantamount to losing half of your life. Still irreversible. Even so, the killer of the 7 Tribulations realm in the Gorfiend Temple still trembled and respectfully said, "Thank you for not killing the seniors. Go away." Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows frivolously, not looking at each other. He didn't have a good opinion of these killers. It makes sense if it is forced. Since he is obedient, he must be punished. Gorfiend Palace. Blood drop. That was a very powerful enslavement method, and it was actually cracked by a mysterious woman. No wonder the Gorfiend Palace sent a 7 Tribulation realm powerhouse to hunt down Wan Yan and Dongxing. It was Dongxing who had left a hand with Wan Yan at the beginning, and every action hid his true strength. To be able to escape all the way to Qian Mercury. If they knew the true strength of Dongxing and the others, the Gorfiend Palace would have dispatched more powerful killers long ago. The killer of the Gorfiend Palace is divided into 4 stages. Man, Earth, Heaven, God. A human-level killer, mainly responsible for the tasks below the robbery. The ground level includes the first 6 culpas of the robbery. Dongxing and the others were the top killers at the beginning. The Heaven rank is the 7 Tribulations realm. The level is the 8 Tribulations realm. However, that kind of killer generally does not belong to the Gorfiend Temple. Most are still partnerships. If a god-level killer is needed, then the mission target may also be a powerhouse in the 8 Tribulations realm. Every time that kind of task appears, it will cause a lot of commotion in the eternal realm of heaven. Of course, the 8 Tribulations realm which can be killed by an assassin, is not much stronger. At most, it is the same level as the Shuangxing Qianshui. Divine power is worth more than 5 million. It is only the threshold powerhouse, at the top of the 8 tribulations realm. It can be done by dispatching 2 real top experts in the 8 tribulations realm. The premise is that the opponent's background is not enough to win. When I first heard about it, Jian Wushuang felt a little weird. But after thinking about the current life force, I understand. If you take out a large amount of life force as a reward, are you afraid that the powerhouse of the 8 tribulations realm will not be tempted? The Gorfine Temple just made a profit from it. The top killers pass through the platform of the Gorfine Hall. Some people earn treasures by going out and about. Some people use their wrists. The hall master of the Gorfine Hall was like that. Come on, let's talk inside. There are many people here, and it is not a place to talk. He didn't want outsiders to know about the original universe. Otherwise, it will add a lot of trouble. You still have to solve your own problems. What's more, he has the ability to solve it. If you don't want to do it, take out the power of life. And ask dozens of 8 tribulations realm to do it. But that's not necessary. Lost the original strong heart. Well, after Dongsheng and others brought them into the pyramid, he turned to Wuxia, who was still fighting, and said, "It's time to go. Forget it, fighting with these two is really boring." Wuxia breathed away after speaking, but the speed suddenly exploded, turning into a streamer and appearing below the pyramid. Together with Jian Wushuang, he was included in the pyramid. The back-and-forth battle was only a quarter of an hour. At the beginning it looked quite violent. It stopped suddenly, and many people did not respond. Qianshui Shuangxing let out a sigh of relief, and was beaten by a 7 tribulation realm universe master, which was not a good feeling. Not only did the two of them suffer a lot of injuries, but they also lost their faces. Was beaten by a 7 tribulation realm. The key is to lose 2 in 1. The prestige accumulated for countless years is gone. The many powerhouses seen from the void are talking about the mysterious powerhouses in the pyramid. Dongxing and Wanyan are also somewhat famous in Tiansong Eternal Realm, and they are recognized by many people. They have speculated about the relationship between the 2 powerhouses in the pyramid. The battle in the Qianshui Star territory soon spread throughout the eternal world of heaven. Jian Wushuang has no interest in this at all. Inside the pyramid, he can also see everything in the outside world. The corner of his mouth is slightly raised. He raises his hand, manipulates the pyramid, and rams directly into Qian Mercury. The infinite pyramid of power directly smashed thousands of Mercury into pieces. Wuxia passed through the pyramid tower and transmitted a voice to the outside world. Haha, I said that next time I will definitely sweep up all the garbage. With that said, the explosion of divine power shook the fragments of Qian Mercury into powder. The pyramid only stayed for a moment, and then it shone on the ruins of Qian Mercury and completely disappeared in front of everyone. Only Qianshui Shuangxing, whose eyes were in a daze, remained. The two of them were almost off. Damn! Great Sage Fengtian clenched his fists. The great sage Litian was a person with a hot temper, and he even roared, shattering the surrounding space. Wait for me. When I step on the power of resurrection, I will definitely avenge today's revenge. The two of them still don't know that on the road to resurrection in the future, they will really meet Jian Wushuang and others. But at that time, they still couldn't get revenge. Pyramid at full speed. Head towards the Tiansong Palace, the core of the eternal realm. The second thing to do this time is to repair the pyramid. At the same time, after arriving at Tiansong Palace, there was another person who was not too familiar, waiting for them. The Emperor of Light and Shadow. It should now be called the Lord of Light and Shadow. When Dongxing and Wanyan arrived in the eternal realm of heaven, they were held hostage by the Gorfine Temple. They didn't know that the Lord of Light and Shadow was also in this time and space. He is actually not familiar with the inheritor, who used to be in the same batch as Jian Wushuang. Just know that the other party's heart is very high. Chapter 5977. Speaking of which, he and the Lord of Light and Shadow are the first-generation inheritors of the Qi Temple. The roots are red. It's just that I don't know each other very well. So I can take the other party with me when the pyramid is repaired. Inside the pyramid, the four of them sat on the ground, surrounded by empty jugs. The mysterious woman poured wine for the four of them, very quiet, and didn't say a word. Jian Wushuang, the four of them, said a lot by drinking alcohol. Say everything about yourself. Compared with him and Wuxia, Dongxing and Wanyan's chances are much worse. And more bitter. Jian Wushuang's only grievance is to marry Jin Chen and become a door-to-door son-in-law. Later, it was calculated by the empress, and she resisted everything by herself. Fortunately, the subsequent outbreak solved everything. Also has highlights. Wuxia said nothing. Originally, I thought that Fan Tianfeng had the best luck. But in the end, it turned out that Wuxia had the best luck. Apprentice to the real king, walking sideways in the entire northern time and space. Opportunities are constant, and treasures are not lacking at all. The opportunities for Dongsheng and Wanyan require the greatest effort. Even oppression. In the Realm King's purgatory, the two of them suffered all the way. Fortunately, the strength increased quickly, and the bottlenecks were broken one by one. Soon became the master of the universe. Later, he was moved to the eternal realm of heaven, and after being targeted by the people of the Gorfine Palace, he became the killer of the Gorfine Palace. Once you stay in the Gorfine Palace, it is a million era. People are getting numb. If it weren't for the mysterious woman they met, both of them would be unable to bear it. Every mission though they can complete. But in order to hide his strength, he will be injured. Almost every time they came back from the mission, the two suffered a lot of injuries. The torment of the spirit is great. Fortunately, I met the mysterious woman and removed the blood droplets from their bodies for both of them. Just got freedom. After Jian Wushuang heard the detailed experience, he took the initiative to raise his glass and apologize. My problem is that I am late. After speaking, he drank the spirits in one gulp, without wrapping them in divine power, and let the spirits flow down his throat into his body. After feeling a scorching numbness all over his body, he recovered. The wine was brought by Wuxia, and it is the treasure of the Realm King. It has great strength, but it can also help their gods a lot. Each sip can increase hundreds of gods. You must know that Jian Wushuang's divine body is 1.5 million. One sip can add hundreds, and one pot can add tens of thousands. In the outside world, it is a rare treasure of divine power, and its value is not small. Wushuang, don't say that. Wanyan hurriedly waved her hand to interrupt, and now she is completely free. With joy on her face, she looked up at the woman who poured the wine. Her eyes were full of light. If you came earlier, maybe I want meet night girl. When he first saw them, Jian Wushuang knew that Wanyan and this woman must be secretly in love. Now that he takes the initiative to say it, he is not surprised. Now that we have talked about this, Jian Wushuang is refreshed. This mysterious woman's surname is Yi. He wasn't even more surprised, because there is a causal connection with each other. The other party is also a practitioner of the ancient moon spacetime, and he is still the home of the night and night. After he killed the young master of the Yi family, he had a causal connection with the Yi family. But he can cut off this cause and effect at any time. It's just not necessary. Although this girl's surname Yi was born in Yes family, there was no hatred in the causal connection between him and the other party. Obviously, the other party is also at odds with the Night family. Otherwise, the causal line between the two should be read. Fortunately, there is no hate value above cause and effect. Otherwise, he doubted whether he was infected with some kind of bad luck and killed people at will. Will attract a lot of enemies. Jiangshang and Broly are the best proof. But since it is not a blood feud causality line, there is no need to mention this matter. Pretending to be ignorant, he asked, Brother Wanyan, you keep saying it, and don't introduce it first. Look at my memory. Wanyan patted her forehead, stretched out her hand to pull the hand of the woman surnamed Yi, stood up solemnly, and said, She is Yi Lingxiao just like us. They all come from Guyu time and space, and they are also my benefactors and Taoist companions. In the past, he didn't break through this relationship, but now he really has no worries. He took this opportunity to say it in one fell swoop. Dongxing was the first to let out a smile, very happy for Wan Yan. Before the Qixin temple appeared, the two were both fifth-order emperors of the original universe, and there was something wrong with them at the beginning. Later, because of the Qixin temple, two people who didn't have a lot of dishes came together. And it was all because of the Magic Sound Temple. They all worshipped the Magic Sound General, enter the ancient moon time and space together. It was also arranged by the Realm King. Become life and death brothers. Now that I see the life and death brothers, I have a second spring, and I have found a Taoist companion. I am naturally very happy for him. Jian Wushuang and Wu Zhuo also blessed together. Everyone riding on the pyramid talked all the way. It was just Yi Lingxiu's secret that Jian Wushuang did not mention, because that thing is complicated. And in no hurry. There's no need to say it now. Since the other party didn't tell Wan Yan, there's no need for him to worry. In the future, if necessary, he can also help. Why pursue other people's privacy to ask? Rather embarrassing. After talking about the past, everyone talked about the future. Battle of Return. From the moment, it has entered the official stage. After going to Tiansong Palace, you must also start preparing some treasures. Just in case. From the ancient moon time and space, you reading www. It will also take a long time for a Khonshu to return to the original universe. At that time, you can use that time to practice. Also prepare some treasures to deal with the death. This Wu Zhuo is relatively good. And also a big dog. Full power is left to him. Jian Wushuang is here to repair the pyramid. This treasure will become his key treasure for a long time in the future. Escape, save, suppress. All are one-of-kind treasures. The most important thing is to give birth to life. With his origin universe, it would be perfect. Now the beings in his origin universe have reached the level of all things. But they are all special beings, and cannot breed. It is a pity that he is not the of life, and there is not much research in this area. Otherwise he has to come up with a clan. In this endless starry sky, branches and leaves are scattered. Talking all the way, time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, he had reached the boundary of Tiansong Palace. These days, there are many rumors about the pyramid in the eternal world of heaven. Especially the story of the 7 tribulations realm beating 2 people in the 8th tribulation realm. The rumors are amazing. So many people are paying attention to this matter. Because Wu Zhuo's battle with the 2 8 tribulations realm concealed Jian Wushuang's rescue of the 3 cultivators, wanted by the Gorfine Temple. Outsiders don't know, but the Gorfine Palace already knew about it. Chapter 5978. Chapter 5983 Lord of the Gorfiend. And it has already spread to the Lord of the Gorfiend. In the core of the eternal realm of the sky, there is a star field. There is a blood demon star in the star field. Where is the core of the Gorfine Temple? The Gorfine Hall is also located here. On the planet, the top of a towering majestic mountain, the infamous Gorfine Temple is located here. Around the hall blood-colored aura surrounds. It is somewhat similar to the blood sacrifice of the eternal family. However, the blood-colored aura here is more intense. Bloody aura is constantly leaking in the hall. If an ordinary strong person is contaminated, it will be seriously injured by blood, and it will fall. However, the blood-colored armor worn by the guards here is completely immune to the blood-colored breath. Inside the hall, a crimson. There are no decorations. Only in the center, there is a blood fountain. In the bright red spring water, there is a generous back. If you look carefully, you can see the broad back, with ghosts. The back is bathed in the blood fountain. Beside the spring, there was an old man in red robe standing, not saying a word. What happened to the investigation? A voice came from the spring. The red-robed old man standing beside him hurriedly bowed. Palace Master, I have already checked it out. That pyramid is from the ancient moon space-time. Snapped. Blood splattered. The broad back stood up, and a black robe suddenly appeared on his body. Hearing the old man's report obviously disturbed his mood. In the beginning, I still underestimated her. The back turned slowly, revealing a very heroic face, with slightly horned facial features, broad eyebrows, and a full forehead. Is a rare handsome man. This person is the hall master of the Gorfine Temple. The red-robed old man's expression changed. And then he said, Palace Master. Yi Lingxiao is also from the ancient moon time and space. I am afraid that these two things will be related in some way. Do I need your reminder? The Gorfine Palace Master snorted coldly. What I have to do now is to find that pyramid and kill her, understand? The red-robed old man hesitated for a moment, but still told the truth. There are two people with unknown strengths in the pyramid of the Temple Master. I am afraid it is difficult to handle. Then find it out first, and I'll do it myself. Yes. The red-robed old man did not dare to say more, and hurriedly left the blood-colored hall. After a while he turned back again. The information of the Gorfine Palace is too fast. As soon as I went down, I received the location of the pyramid. The Lord of the Gorfine was also surprised. He didn't expect it to happen so quickly. Tiansong Palace. After hearing the location, the Gorfine Hall Master sneered. Move now. The Gorfine Palace rose into the sky. This hall, sitting here for hundreds of millions of years, has not left for a long time. Every time the Gorfine Temple leaves the Scarlet Star territory, it will be a slaughter. Even in Tiansong Palace, the Gorfine Palace Master still chose to do it. If it were the other 5 peak forces, he might still hesitate. But in Tiansong Palace, this is not necessary. Boom! The rising Gorfine Palace. The power was instantly activated, and in a flash, it left the star field and walked towards the Tiansong Palace. As for Yi Lingxiao, the Gorfine Hall Master is determined. The last time I was careless, I didn't do it myself. The result was so much trouble. The reason why I didn't do it myself was actually a scruple. The Gorfine Hall Master personally took action to catch a woman who had no background in the 5 tribulations realm, which would definitely attract the attention of many people. But now there is no need for that. Because he was working in Tiansong Palace, he had someone to clean up this mess for him. This is also the reason why the Gorfine Palace has a very bad reputation. But no one dares to touch the Gorfine Palace. In the sky of the sky, pyramid has slowed down. After all, this place is an ancient site that cannot be arbitrarily intruded. This time they are begging each other. Face is a must. Wuxia felt that Jian Wushuang was too careful. Now as long as you take out the power of life, that is the father of the other party. Jian Wushuang advocates his own point of view. When dealing with the strong, you still have to have the heart of a venerable one. Can't walk respectfully. Perhaps the Realm King had great favors for the 3 ancient existences. As a disciple of the Realm King, Wuxia dared to do this. But Jian Wushuang is different. In addition to his life force, he is also an ordinary person who has reached the top of the 8 tribulations realm. There is no way to become a dude like Wuxia. The pyramid walked slowly towards the Tiansong Palace, and it attracted a lot of onlookers. In the Heavenly Tsang domain, not all the practitioners of the Heavenly Tsang Palace. There are also Tianjiao from all over the world, as well as the powerhouses of the robbery. They were very curious when they saw the pyramid appear here. They all speculated whether the pyramid was the treasure of a certain super genius in Tiansong Palace. After all, the 7 tribulations realm leapfrogged the 8 tribulations realm, and that was definitely something that only a top genius could do. It's still the kind of move that no one has ever seen before, and no one has come since. Jian Wushuang and the others never thought that the battle would attract so many people's attention. You know, Jian Wushuang's 6 tribulations realm can still compete with Qi Jiuxiao. Why didn't it cause such a big shock at that time? Brother Wuxia, how do you feel after becoming famous in the first battle? Dongxing held the wine glass and looked at the many powerful people outside the pyramid attracted by the outside world. Look, there are quite a few girls out there. This remark caused Wang Yan to laugh. Jian Wushuang sat cross-legged to the side, ignoring their frolic. Instead, he is cultivating his own source starry sky. And to further improve their super eternity, it is still a little difficult to cultivate super eternal transformation to consummation. And now it has reached a bottleneck. It's not that easy to break through. Once completeness is reached, with his super eternal transformation, can almost double his divine power. It's 2 million now. After reaching the super eternal transformation after consummation, it will be able to increase to 6 million. Coupled with the amplification of the source universe, it is easy to raise the combat power to the top level of the 8 tribulations realm. This is not even a star catalog. It is far from enough to be able to play against the peak of the 8 tribulations. To deal with extinction, must be fully prepared. Otherwise you are in danger of dying. Weiss wasn't by his side now. He has nothing behind. And his second primordial spirit is also in the Qi temple. If dead, that's really dead. When there is pressure, there is endless motivation. Even if you have a little time, you must seize it and practice. But this peace was shattered when he just fell into cultivation. Out of respect for the heavenly Tsang Palace, he did not use his mind power to cover too much. So much so that a threatening force arrived in front of him before he realized it. A touch of blood came, the black robe fluttered, and the handsome Gorfiend Palace Master took one step and stopped the pyramid. Jian Wushuang's psychic power did not manipulate the pyramid. It is impossible to be stopped. The Gorfiend Hall Master forcibly stopped the pyramid. This is also because the pyramid has not activated its peak power. End of this chapter. Chapter 5979. Otherwise you won't be stopped. But none of this matters. The Lord of the Gorfiend suddenly came. Immediately, the surrounding powerhouses held their breaths. The biggest devil in the eternal realm of the sky, the Gorfiend Hall Master, who made countless people terrified, actually came here and stopped the pyramid. One is a veteran and the other is famous because of Qian Mercury. The two sides collided. In an instant, the entire Tiansong eternal world was ignited. I remembered, someone mentioned that there was a young man with a sword in the pyramid back then. He rescued the 2 traitors who were chased by the Gorfiend temple. It seems that some time ago, the famous Dongsheng and Wanyan, a well-informed strong man in the crowd, instantly pointed out the reason for the fight between the 2 sides. Hearing this reason, everyone still did not buy it, and they retorted, just because of the 2 masters of the universe in the 6 tribulations realm, how could it be possible for the Lord of the Gorfiend to take action in person? This book Buddha obviously doesn't make sense. Forget about them bystanders. Even Wanyan and Dongsheng of the parties felt incredible. I saw the Lord of the Gorfiend appear. His face turned pale instantly. Wuxia didn't care, then turned his head and said, "You may not know my true identity. Don't be afraid, I'll settle him." Jian Wushuang also cooperated to open the pyramid. The Lord of the Gorfiend Palace. That is the Lord of the universe in the 8 tribulations realm. The existence of supernatural power. Absolutely the pinnacle of power. Against this big devil, you can only win by face. Wuxia gestured towards the crowd, and then shouted at the Gorfiend Hall Master. "Do you know my identity?" After speaking, he jumped out of the pyramid, and took the initiative to rush towards the Gorfiend Hall Master. Not only Dongsheng and Wanyan were shocked by this scene. Even those bystanders frowned. Everyone thought Wuxia was crazy, a master of the universe of the 7 tribulations, taking the initiative to find trouble with the master of the universe of the 8 tribulations. Beating the 2 scattered tribulations in the 8 tribulations realm can be justified. This is a challenge to leapfrog the Lord of the universe of the 8 tribulations? That would be too arrogant. The Gorfiend Palace Master was also stunned. He didn't know Wuxia. He didn't go to Wanlu Shenmu at the time. Because I'm not interested. He is the Lord of the universe, and has no shortage of life force. No shortage of treasures. Naturally, he didn't know Wuxia's identity either. In fact, those who know Wuxia's identity are the 3 ancient existences. No one else knew who he was. He just rushed over like that. The Lord of the Gorfiend will naturally not keep his hands. With his hand as a blade, he raised his hand and slammed Wuxia, who was rushing into the distance. It stopped after knocking down several majestic mountains. Has he always been so brave? The Gorfiend Palace Master thought that the other party had some means, but he didn't expect it to be like that. It looks like the power of more than 6 million. Under normal circumstances, he can really beat him easily. Fortunately, Wuxia has enough treasures, and his defense is amazing. Otherwise, he will lose half his life if he doesn't die. After standing up again from the pile of boulders, Wuxia roared. After becoming the real disciple of the real king, he has never eaten such a slack. The realm king also protected him very well. Although tempered, they are also equal opponents. I have met the real lord of the 8 tribulations realm universe. The shot is so ruthless. Wiping the blood sacrifice on his face, Wuxia was also woken up by this blow. After thinking about it, this is the Tiansong domain, and immediately sent a voice transmission to which ancient existence Tiansong. If you can't beat it, move people. Although he is arrogant, he will not report the name of the realm king at will. Sound transmission takes time, and it takes even more time to arrive. Still need someone to go to the top. In fact, you can hide in the pyramid. Jian Wushuang still does not believe that the other party can break through this pyramid. It is a pity that the current pyramid cannot absorb the attack. Otherwise, the stronger the opponent's attack, the more it will absorb. Wuxia, come back, he waved, and a metal plate below the pyramid took the initiative to take Wuxia back. Dodging is not his style. If it was Qi Jiuxiao outside, he could endure it. But a master of the universe in the 8 tribulations realm is not enough to let him hide. Do not fight. The other party came here to intercept. It was something he didn't expect. But he understood what the Gorfine Palace Master meant. Yi Lingxiao has a secret in his body. The blood-colored aura of the Lord God of the Gorfine Temple is very similar. Came for this. But dare to block them in the sky. That's a bit insane. It does not give any face to the eternal existence. Could it be that you are betting on an ancient existence that is not in the heavenly Tsang territory? After moving his shoulders, Jian Wushuang didn't think too much, and explained to Wuxia. I will meet him when I go out. Don't come out. Unparalleled, Wang Yan looked a little anxious. After talking in the past few days, they also know that Jian Wushuang is only the master of the universe of the 6 tribulations realm. Going out now is too dangerous. Even if Jian Wushuang's strength is against the sky, he can fight by leaps and bounds. But this is too much. Yi Lingxiao, who was standing on the side, had his eyes shaking at this time. And just before Jian Wushuang went out, he took the initiative to say, wait. Jian Wushuang stopped, but only hesitated for a moment, and left after leaving a sentence. Wait me back. With such a simple sentence, everyone felt at ease. Jian Wushuang exited the pyramid with a smile on his face. At the last moment, Yi Lingxiao was able to stop him. Enough. If you keep hiding it, you can doubt the character of the other party. At this critical moment, I am willing to take the initiative to say that has proved my character. This is also to test the other party's bottom line. Now it seems that Wang Yan's eyesight is good. It's enough to leave it to him. Even if he can't beat it, he can return to the pyramid to hide. You can leave at any time, or you can continue to walk towards Tiansong Palace. Dominance is in Jian Wushuang, so don't panic at all. The Gorfine Palace Master saw a man with a sword appearing suddenly, and knew that this was the ancient moon space-time powerhouse, who rescued Yi Lingxiao. Hand over her, I can spare you, Jian Wushuang snorted coldly. I want you. Are you qualified? As soon as these words came out, the Gorfine Hall Master was no longer blocking the pyramid, facing Jian Wushuang at a distance, raised his head and laughed. Talking to him about qualifications, this is the first time he has heard people talk to him. Those bystanders also looked at Jian Wushuang at this time, but he couldn't feel the details of Jian Wushuang. The same goes for the Gorfine Hall Master. However, he had an intuition telling him that Jian Wushuang's divine power was not that strong. This feeling cannot be blocked. Unless it's Protoss. Like Weiss, become a transparent person. Powerful yet terrifyingly terrifying. That level, Jian Wushuang is completely unimaginable. The Gorfine Hall Master and those bystanders have never seen this so-called Protoss. Therefore, I felt that Jian Wushuang should have used some kind of heaven-defying treasure to cover up his aura. Chapter 5980. They are all waiting for Jian Wushuang to explode. The same goes for the Gorfine Hall Master. Even Wuxia was beaten to the ground with one move. Jian Wushuang still dared to fight. Many people still have a lot of confidence in him. The Gorfine Palace Master was also very curious about Jian Wushuang's strength. Through the information network of the Gorfine Temple, he did not find out the details of Jian Wushuang. As for Guyu time and space, he knew several well-known experts in the Eight Tribulations realm. For example, the Shinmu king who created the ancient Wood sect again. Although it is a scattered robbery, it has followed the new of life. And the divine power that has been exposed recently has easily surpassed 15 million. It is the top powerhouse in the entire northern time and space. There is also Sect Master Guyu, the master of the universe of the Eight Tribulations realm, the ruler of the ancient moon time and space. The strength is even more unfathomable. Apart from these people, Guyu Shikong has nothing to make him jealous. For Jian Wushuang, an unfamiliar powerhouse, all he has is curiosity. But the bottom of my heart also gave a limit. The lowest level is the Eight Tribulations realm. Wuxia is the master of the Seven Tribulations realm universe, and his combat power can reach the top level of the Eight Tribulations realm. The former were defeated, dare to fight him. Then Jian Wushuang's strength must be at least the top of the Eight Tribulations realm, even the peak of the Eight Tribulations realm. Under everyone's curious eyes, Jian Wushuang's breath introverted and disappeared. Divine power and origin are fully revealed. 1.5 million divine power. The realm of the Six Tribulations realm. Show no intention. If it were ordinary people who saw Jian Wushuang in this state, they might be surprised. Surprised that the divine power of a Six Tribulation realm can have 1.5 million. The source has reached the level of the Eight Tribulations. Now there are people who are surprised too. Just surprised that Jian Wushuang is too weak. The weak have no self-knowledge. A Six Tribulation realm. Even if the divine power has 1.5 million, the origin is comparable to the master of the universe in the Eight Tribulation realm. But also to see who it is. That is the Lord of the Gorfiend. Everyone watching the battle from a distance couldn't help breaking a cold sweat for Jian Wushuang. Six Tribulations realm, is he crazy? Many people couldn't help exclaiming. I thought Wuxia was crazy enough. A master of the universe of the Seven Tribulations took the initiative to attack the master of the universe of the Eight Tribulations. Now after seeing the true strength of Jian Wushuang, they just understood. It's a little tricky. Those who come out of the pyramid are getting weaker and weaker. Let this peak matchup seem a bit childish. When the Gorfine Palace Master saw Jian Wushuang in this state, he was stunned for a moment, and then he couldn't help laughing. Are you going to beat me with your eyes? That being said, in my heart I am guessing Jian Wushuang's trump card. A master of the Six Tribulations realm universe, dare to fight him. Is the background? Or really stupid? He is not afraid of the background. Stupid, don't be afraid. In the eternal realm of heaven, he never worried about being suppressed by someone else's background. Jian Wushuang was suspended in the air, not paying attention to those eyes at all. It's really a little weak. He couldn't help shaking his head. Several people in the pyramid were also worried about Jian Wushuang. Gu is brother Wushuang crazy, how dare he? Dongxing couldn't believe his eyes when he saw Jian Wushuang, who was calm and composed. Wuxia was also a little worried at this time. Although he knew that Jian Wushuang was stronger than himself, his strength was limited. However, he still comforted everyone. Don't worry. I have already sent the voice transmission to Tian Song, and I will be here later. This Gorfine Palace Master will not be around for long. The three people who were somewhat vague about the Realm King and the ancient existence could only nod their heads. Outside world, the blood-colored storm began to sweep. Don't talk nonsense. If you only have this ability, then prepare to die. The Lord of the Gorfiend raised his hand to gather a blood-colored storm and rushed towards Jian Wushuang. The core of the blood-colored storm has more than 8 million divine powers. It is enough to strangle the top powerhouses of the Eight Tribulations realm. As soon as the storm came out, everyone thought that Jian Wushuang would definitely die. Even Wuxia and others in the pyramid held their breath. They start to reminisce in an instant, recalling the sword Wushuang has no crazy things. I was worried that Jian Wushuang had really killed himself. If it fell like that, it would be too embarrassing. Most of those bystanders are ordinary powerhouses. Although they cannot see how powerful the divine power contained in the blood-colored storm is, they also understand that with this blow, the ordinary 8 tribulations realm will fall. He's going to fall. It's too crazy, hiding in that pyramid. Maybe you can resist for a while, you have to die to provoke the Gorfiend Palace Master. This time is really over. Now it's not that Jian Wushuang is not optimistic, but that Jian Wushuang can't catch a single move, and he will fall. Even Wuxia would probably fall. The Gorfiend Palace Master didn't think so much, and with a casual blow, he was already determined to kill Jian Wushuang. Moreover, I also felt that I was stunned by the Lord of the 6 Tribulations realm universe in front of me, and I was a little angry, and the shot was even more ruthless. Just under the watchful eyes of countless people, a miracle is happening. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath, clenched his fists and let out a low roar, and the aura on his body suddenly changed dramatically. A blue breath burst out from within the body, and the arc flickered and burst into a huge ball. The divine power also exploded from 1.5 million to more than 5 million in an instant. At the same time, an elliptical universe descended. Divine power surged again, reached 7 million. Facing the blood-colored storm, he slowly raised his hand. Clang! The sword of 10,000 tribulations came out. With just one sword, the blood-colored storm was split into 2 pieces. It was extremely easy to break the random move of the Gorfiend Hall Master. This scene stunned everyone. The Lord of the Gorfiend was unbelievable. For countless years, let alone read it. Never heard of such existence. A master of the universe of the 6 Tribulations realm can reach the top level of the 8 Tribulations realm with a single sword. It is rumored that the Lord of the 8 Tribulations realm universe can find a wall and kill him. Who are you? The Gorfiend Palace Master frowned, thinking of the mysterious place in the north time and space. World God Continent. Where have the 3 eternal beings entered? There are also quite a few legendary 8 Tribulation realms, who have also cultivated in that place. To enter the World God Continent, a World God token is required. This kind of thing is not something you can get by wanting to get it. Even if it exists forever, there is only one. It is impossible to bring other people into the World God Continent. So that place seems extremely mysterious in the 8 Tribulations realm. Not only did only the 8 Tribulations enter, it was rumored that not long ago, there was also a 7 Tribulations universe master who left the realm God Continent and entered the northern time and space. But this is also not equal to Jian Wushuang. Although Jian Wushuang defies the sky, he is still the master of the universe in the 6 Tribulations realm. Not only, there is also a cosmic dojo. If you don't make a move, you will be amazed by everyone. Just the fact that the 6 Tribulations realm can come to the Cosmos Dojo shocked everyone. Cosmic Dojo. Chapter 5981. That is the need to move the origin universe into the divine body. The 8 Tribulations realm can do it. The principle is actually very simple. It is the origin universe of divine sports, which has reached a state of high coincidence. The Lord of the universe, who is lower than the 8 Tribulations realm, cannot do it. Just because of that, now a master of the universe in the 6 Tribulations realm can do this. Many people can't accept it, especially the Lord of the 7 Tribulations realm universe. Around Jian Wushuang and the Gorfiend Hall Master, countless strong people have gathered. Many are the powerhouses of Tiansong Palace. Even the 8 Tribulations realm has come. It's just that none of the powerhouses in Tiansong Palace came out to stop them. After Wuxia passed the news, in fact, Tiansong had already rushed here. But it will take some time. Moreover, Wuxia's voice transmission didn't make it clear, and he didn't know that they were in the Skytsong territory. Speaking of which, it's all to blame for the Shenmu King. The founder of the school established a faction, dragged the 3 ancient existences, and gave himself a card face. Otherwise, Tiansong would have returned to Tiansong Eternal Realm long ago. While rushing back, he also transmitted a voice to the Gorfiend Hall Master. Don't touch them. The simple 5 words made the Gorfiend Hall Master dare not make another move. Even if Tiansong didn't have a voice transmission to warn him. He didn't dare to make another move. The strength revealed by Jian Wushuang is actually the same, but on a master of the Six Tribulations Realm universe. That is amazing. The Six Tribulations Realm is so strong. How big is the background? Therefore, the Gorfind Hall Master asked Jian Wushuang's identity when he opened his mouth. Jian Wushuang seemed very calm. It's just a nameless boy, it's not worth mentioning. As he spoke, he took back the Sword of Myriad Tribulations. The sword just now shocked everyone. The Lord of the Gorfind is also not taking action. He doesn't need to hold it anymore. Nameless boy. The Gorfind Palace Master gritted his teeth, and he wanted to make a move, but he did not dare to disobey Tiankang's orders. Yi Lingxiao. Greed appeared in the eyes of the Gorfind Hall Master. Greed conquers fear. I didn't shoot Jian Wushuang, and I didn't say that I wouldn't let others shoot. He knew Yi Lingxiao's background. Without any scruples. Just bypass Jian Wushuang. If it really doesn't work, he will suppress Jian Wushuang first. But Yi Lingxiao must catch it. Since you don't want to say it, then this hall doesn't ask, but Yi Lingxiao must be mine. After the Gorfind Hall Master finished speaking, his figure flashed, bypassing Jian Wushuang and rushing towards the pyramid at a very fast speed. Jian Wushuang was unmoved by this. Even like watching a fool, watching the Gorfind Palace Master keep shooting at the pyramid. Wu Zua and others inside the pyramid saw the Gorfind Hall Master, who was constantly attacking the pyramid. But not only did they not feel any divine aura, they didn't even shake. The sound of the attack was also isolated. The interior is still as quiet as ever. There is no threat whatsoever. Although Wu Zua and the others had confidence in the pyramid, they did not expect the defense to be so amazing. Those bystanders did not understand why the Gorfind Palace Master bypassed Jian Wushuang and continued to attack the pyramid. Among them, there are strong people who can see through, and said indifferently, although the Lord of the Gorfind is not afraid of anyone in the Eternal Realm, he also has scruples. It is also a wise choice not to take action against any mysterious swordsman. To steal people. This time, many people nodded along with them. It sounds like there is some truth to this. Jian Wushuang was even more relaxed on this side, and simply stood in the distance, as a spectator watched the Gorfind Palace Master attack the pyramid. The blood-colored storm continued to sweep. The power of Gu Xinli quickly exceeded 10 million. The peak combat power of the Gorfind Hall Master is about 12 million. It is already the peak combat power of the 8 Tribulations realm. But it can't shake the pyramid in the slightest. This made the heart of the Gorfind Hall Master even more broken. First, there was a kendo in the 6 Tribulations realm that erupted into the peak of the 8 Tribulations realm. And then again this silver pyramid. No matter how he attacked, he couldn't shake it. If the regular attack didn't work, he mobilized the Gorfind Temple. Want to suppress the pyramid? Gor Hall. It is a treasure at the peak of the 8 Tribulations realm. Suppressing ordinary treasures is not a problem. Even a treasure of the same rank can be suppressed and trapped. As long as he can suppress it, he can open this pyramid. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang couldn't help but remind Gorfind Hall Master, don't waste your energy. This pyramid is the treasure of the 9 Tribulations realm. You can't suppress this pile of broken copper and iron. 9 Tribulations realm. The Gorfind Hall Master completely collapsed. No wonder he didn't move no matter how he attacked. The treasure of the 9 Tribulations realm. It would be strange if he could blow it away. What's more, the silver pyramid was created by the metal light brain of the South Dimension. In the Southern Dimension, metal life is dominant. The research on refining treasures is the most. This silver pyramid is still the top among the treasures of the 9 Tribulations realm. It is much more powerful than the 9 Tribulations realm supreme treasure in northern time and space. The Gorfind Hall is mainly able to blast away. At least it is the peak of the 9 Tribulations realm. But in the northern time and space, where is the 9 Tribulations realm? Even the treasures of the 9 Tribulations realm are very few. This is not the Morwa time and space of Qi Temple. Morwa time and space can be time and space treasures. Or because of the gods brought by annihilation. There are many treasures of the 9 Tribulations realm in the heavenly world of Wanlu universe. Even the treasure of time and space, such as watching the sky chessboard, actually calculate carefully. Jian Wushuang can calculate that teacher Xian Yi is from the starry sky, because the sky-watching chessboard was originally in the starry sky. It was spread to Morwa time and space through the extinction of life, was first obtained by the first real king, and finally fell into his hands. Don't look at the 9 major time and space upstream. They are so much stronger than the time and space of Morwa. But there is no real treasure of time and space. Some are just the treasures of the universe, at the level of the 9 tribulations. That was because of the world god continent. It came from the world god continent. So in terms of the treasure, it was still the original Morwa time and space. But it also brought unprecedented catastrophe. Destruction is a big problem. Oh, why bother? Jian Wushuang shook his head. Gorfiend Hall Master, I have secured this person. Even if Senior Tiansong comes, you can't touch her. When the Gorfiend Hall Master heard the word Tiansong, his expression changed, and he turned to look at Jian Wushuang, with jealousy in his eyes. What followed was a huge blood-colored dojo. That is the origin dojo of the Gorfiend Hall Master. That is the original universe. When the dojo came, the divine power of the Gorfiend Hall Master erupted again. From 12 million to about 14 million. Divine power shook the entire sky. If this place is not the core of the eternal world, I am afraid that time and space will be shattered. It's over. The main man of the Gorfiend Temple is going crazy. Among the bystanders, a master of the 7 tribulations realm universe from Tiansong Palace couldn't help but retreat. Even the aftermath of the attack of the peak powerhouse of the 8 tribulations realm was too much for them to bear. For a while, everyone backed away again. Chapter 5982. Jian Wushuang couldn't help but step back. This Gorfiend Palace Master has good potential. Why go after the blood? He couldn't help sighing. Yi Lingxiu's secret is probably only known to him and the Gorfiend Palace Master, because this blood-colored power helped him a lot. Casually impressed. What the Gorfiend Temple mainly does is similar to his. They all want to use the power of blood to forcibly improve their basic divine power. The current basic divine power of the Gorfiend Hall Master can reach the level of tens of millions. So much so that ordinary magical powers have no effect on him. It is necessary to obtain the magical power of the 9 tribulations realm. But in the northern time and space, there is no 9 tribulations realm. So he set his sights on the world god continent. The side of the world god continent will not work. Finally, he focused on the power of blood, to forcibly improve their basic divine power. Without the use of divine power, he wanted to raise his divine power to the limit of the 8 tribulations realm. This is also a method of cultivation. Jian Wushuang has a super eternity change, which can achieve the greatest increase. I don't know, I'm hungry when I'm full. I don't understand those powerhouses in the 8 tribulations realm who do not have peak divine power secrets. This is also normal. Not God after all. He could only watch the Gorfiend Palace Lord attack the pyramid like crazy. Divine power kept pouring out. The Gorfiend Hall Master attacked for a full quarter of an hour. I stopped until I was exhausted. The whole person is a little decadent. Am I really unable to surpass my father? The Gorfiend Palace Master staggered back. Inside the pyramid, after Wuxia saw this scene, he let out a long sigh. It seems to be giving up. Although they could not feel the power of the attack, they were also afraid that the other party could rush in. What is this? Dongxing found that there was a blood-colored spar above the pyramid, which was constantly flickering. After hearing what Dongxing said, Wuxia also looked over. The red triangular spar keeps flickering, and the light is getting bigger and bigger. Isn't it unstoppable? Wuxia's figure slowly rose, and after approaching it, he studied it carefully. He was worried that the pyramid would not be able to hold it, so he reached out and touched it. It's okay not to touch, but this touch made the pyramid vibrate. The silver pyramid that was originally allowed to attack by the Lord of the Gorfiend. At this moment it suddenly shook. Not only Wuxia and the others were shocked. Even Jian Wushuang from the outside world stared at it. His heart sank. and he quickly transmitted a voice to Wuxia to ask about the inside of the pyramid. Red crystal. Jian Wushuang didn't know why after hearing Wuxia's words. He also knew very little about the pyramids. When it is complete, he has only seen it a few times in the outside world. Later, when he entered the interior and killed the metal light brain, he didn't have time to study. Now there is a sudden change, and he can't stop what happened. You can only comfort Wuxia and others, don't touch things randomly. The Gorfiend Hall Master showed a surprised expression when he saw the pyramid vibrating. Thought it was his own attack that worked. Immediately, the divine power broke out again, and continued to attack the pyramid. But he didn't realize that the top of the pyramid had turned red at this time. A mighty red beam of light is gathering. That power once hit Qi Jiuxiao heavily. To know Qi Jiuxiao, it is an existence that has reached the level of the 9 tribulations. It hurts when you get hit. Not to mention a peak of the 8 tribulations realm. The Lord of the Gorfiend. But he didn't care about this, and attacked wildly. It's not his ignorance either. It was the red beam of light without any divine aura. Colorless and odorless. When the Lord of the Gorfiend kept attacking the pyramid, burst out, the red beam of light, like a streamer, rushed directly to the chest of the Gorfiend Hall Master. If this blow is hit, the Gorfiend Palace Master will surely fall. When Jian Wushuang saw the red light beam, his first reaction was to flee. He had seen the power of the beam of light. The burning sensation can be felt from a distance. The red light beam after the eruption. Divine power is also exposed. The terrifying divine power has exceeded 20 million. The Gorfiend Palace Master was completely stunned. He had never seen such powerful divine power before. Frozen place. Jian Wushuang only managed to escape by himself. He didn't care about the death of the Blood Demon Hall Master at all. Dead is also dead. He has said that the pyramid is the treasure of the 9 tribulations realm. Can't break it all. If the other party does not believe it, there is no way. Those powerhouses who watched this battle felt the sound of time and space breaking. Then a red light obscures the sky. I don't know after that. Jian Wushuang also buried his head and fled. Thought force is observing. But it was shattered by the red beam of light. Core place. Only Wuxia and others could see it clearly inside the pyramid. When the red beam of light was about to kill the Gorfiend Hall Master, a stalwart figure appeared. Broken time and space, instantly restored. Time and space create eternity. The stalwart figure pushed the Gorfiend Hall Master away. He blocked the opponent behind him, and blocked himself in front of the red beam of light by himself. Because it was too late, I could only resist. A stalwart figure, his hands are difficult to resist. I just feel that my divine body is being crushed. The hands have disappeared. The body of the gods was also severely damaged. It was difficult to block the red beam of light. Inside the pyramid, Wuxia and others were stunned by the scene in front of them. Unexpectedly, Yu reading www. The power of the Akanshu. Red beam of light will be so powerful. Dongsheng and the others didn't know who was blocking the attack for the Gorfiend Hall Master. But they understood that if the blow just hit the Gorfiend Hall Master, the opponent would definitely fall. The one who can actively help the Gorfiend Hall Master to block the attack. It must be more powerful than the Lord of the Gorfiend. Wuxia was very familiar with the person in front of him, because not long ago, through the introduction of the king, I got to know each other. The true overlord of the eternal world of the sky, Old Man Tiansong, the figure of the stalwart, but the front is an old man in 60s. Seeing this, Wuxia also reacted. No wonder that after his voice transmission to Tiansong, the Gorfiend Hall Master stopped taking action against Jian Wushuang. It turns out that the two of them have tricks. He did not hesitate to be seriously injured to help the Gorfiend Hall Master resist this blow. Even a fool can see that the relationship between the two is not ordinary. And looking at the looks, there is a high probability that they are father and son. Power dissipated. Calm returned to the sky. The hands of the old man Tiansong also recovered, and he ignored the Gorfiend Palace Master behind him, but hooked his head and shouted into the pyramid. Senior brother Wu? The way he talks is extremely funny, like a kid. Wuxia also stretched out his head at this time. Instead of looking at the old man Tiansong, He first glanced at the Gorfiend Hall Master, obviously doubting the safety of the moment. Seeing this, the old man Tiansong quickly apologized and said, "I came late and made the dog rude in front of my senior brother." Cough cough. Wu Zhuo walked out of the pyramid when he saw this, with steady steps and an arrogant expression, glanced at the old man Tiansong and said angrily, "You are not a dog. I think it is a dragon." Age lightly became the 8 tribulations realm, a dragon and a phoenix among people. https:// Please remember this book's first domain name. Apex Novel Mobile Version Reading URL. Chapter 5983. The old man of Tiansong knew that Wu Zhuo was speaking the opposite, still complaining about the rudeness of the Gorfiend Hall Master just now, especially that hand knife. The left half of Wu's face was almost split open. "Where are you still? Why don't you hurry up and apologize to your uncle?" The old man Tiansong turned his head and shouted angrily. Seeing that the Gorfiend Palace Master was still a little unconvinced, he raised his hand and patted the other party's head. The sound is crisp. "Master." These 2 words reminded the Gorfiend Hall Master. In the entire northern time and space, there are not many people who can make his father treat him with such respect. Except for those gods. It is the legendary king. Ordinary gods are not bad. They have little power. And they are not as good as the old man Tiansong. But the realm king is different. The old man of Tiansong, who has always been known as the real disciple of the realm king to the outside world. "Now I call Wu Zhuo brother." He woke up instantly, looking at Wu Zhuo with an incredible face. "Why do I have flowers on my face?" Wu Zhuo made a fierce look at the Gorfiend Hall Master. The old man Tiansong turned his head and glared at the Gorfiend Hall Master. It was only at this point that the Gorfiend Hall Master accepted the reality. Standing honestly behind the old man Tiansong, he respectfully bowed to Wu Zhuo to apologize. This scene stunned everyone. The old man Tiansong appeared. Those onlookers recognized the stalwart figure. Moreover, seeing this ancient existence in the eternal world, he was extremely polite to Wu Zhuo, and even scolded the Gorfiend Hall Master. They were all surprised. The Gorfiend Hall Master, who was the party involved, was even more surprised. He never thought that Wu Zhuo would have a relationship with the Realm King. If it was Jian Wushuang, it wouldn't be so gaff. Jian Wushuang, who was standing in the distance, also flew slowly from here. "Senior Tiansong, what a nuisance this time." Jian Wushuang didn't put on airs, but greeted the legendary figure in the northern time and space in a flat tone. The old man Tiansong is a peerless genius who knows Jian Wushuang and possesses the power of life. The key person who entered Wanliashong. In the northern time and space, Jian Wushuang's name is extremely loud. After all, it has the power of life. That is a mobile treasure house. It's just that no one dares to pay attention to Jian Wushuang. The same is true for the old man of Tiansong, who said with a smile, "I didn't expect that the peerless Taoist friend was there. It really made my Tiansong domain shine. If those scattered tribulations knew about it, I am afraid that the threshold of the old man would be broken." When he said this sentence, he had blocked the surrounding time and space. The bystanders outside did not know what they were talking about. But the Gorfiend Hall Master listened carefully, knowing that the person in front of him was Jian Wushuang. His expression was also greatly moved. Now in the northern time and space, the few powerhouses who are the most difficult to provoke have offended him. Fortunately, he is not a robbery. Otherwise, you will regret to death. The reason why Jian Wushuang is able to play a pivotal role in the northern time and space. The power of life that it masters is the biggest bargaining chip. It has the combat power of the peak of the 8 tribulations. Ordinary robbery is not enough to see. Another point is that you can use the power of life to exchange everything. If Jian Wushuang is willing, he can use his life force to buy half of the northern time and space. Practitioners in the northern time and space. At least 70% are scattered robbery. Only 30% are the masters of the universe. This is also the reason why the north time and space has been continuously strong recently. In the past, it was good to be able to account for 2 achievements. Although he knew his importance, Jian Wushuang was not as arrogant as Wuxia because of this, but rather kept a low profile. Facing the old man Tiansong, he also showed respect. Even if the other party praised him, he replied modestly, "Senior Tiansong is serious. I am only the lord of the universe in the six tribulations realm, but the light of rice grains. How dare I compete with the sun and the moon for glory?" The old man Tiansong smiled, and the dark Dao Jian Wushuang was much better at talking than Wuxia. The three ancient existences are indeed worthy of respect. Just relying on the blow that broke out in the pyramid just now can hurt the original Qi Jiuxiao. The old man of Tiansong, under the hard resistance, his divine power only decreased a little. In other words, the opponent's divine power may have reached a level comparable to the nine tribulations realm, not much worse than the original Qi Jiuxiao. Eternal existence is not the nine tribulations realm. This has been known from the realm king. Speaking of which, the first warrior of the nine tribulations realm in northern time and space. It was created by Babylon. Possesses the powerful combat power of the nine tribulations realm. Incredibly tyrannical. During the trip to Wanlu, he was almost beaten by Qi Jiuxiao. Finally, relying on Dambao to make a comeback. And it's not even a head-on defeat. One can imagine how terrifying Qi Jiuxiao's combat power is. Even in the entire northern time and space, it takes countless powerhouses to join forces to compete. Fortunately, it has now been suppressed by Dambao's immortal temple. Otherwise it's really a big hassle. The old man of Tiansong read almost the introduction, and also saw that Jian Wushuang and the others came to Tiansong territory. 80% of the time they were looking for him. So he took the initiative to say, "Since a few of you have come to the old man's territory, why not go to the old man's cave?" So good. Jian Wushuang was overjoyed. I think Wu's face is still good. Originally, I thought it would be a little troublesome to seek help from an ancient existence. Didn't expect it to go so smoothly. The old man Tiansong smiled lightly. "Please." After speaking, take the lead and lead the way to the core Tiansong Palace of Taiyan Kanji. Jian Wushuang collected the pyramid and wrapped Wuxia and others with his thoughts, and directly followed the old man Tiansong. After they left, those bystanders, who could not see the fight, naturally dispersed. But after this war, pyramid is even more magical. The Lord of the Gorefiend also followed the old man Tiansong. Rather than following, it is better to say that he was being carried by the old man Tiansong. The speed is so fast. The old man Tiansong turned his head and smiled at Jian Wushuang and the others, but his heart was a little shocked. Originally thought that Jian Wushuang would follow him with the pyramid, relying on the speed of the treasure. It can be equal to him. Unexpectedly, without the treasure, the speed can keep up with him. Jian Wushuang does not have too many reservations. There is nothing worthy of threat to him from the northern time and space. Moreover, in Wanlu time and space, he exposed the speed. So many people are watching. I can't hide if I want to hide. The most important reason was that he felt that it was rude to let the owner of this place fly and lead them by taking the flying treasure. The group was extremely fast. It only took a stick of incense to resist the Tiansong Palace. The entire building of Tiansong Palace contains an ancient atmosphere. It has been passed down to this day, and I don't know how many times it has gone through. However, the Tiansong Palace has been circulated forever. In the core Jade Tree Hall of Tiansong Palace, a very grand banquet was being arranged at this time. Hurry up, the guests of the ancestors will come soon. Move faster. A middle-aged man in a brocade and jade robe was orderly instructing the arrangement of the servants. His identity is not simple, but he is the power of blood among the descendants of the old Tiansong, an extremely powerful junior. https:// Please remember this book's first domain name. Apex Novel Mobile Version Reading URL. Chapter 5984. Now he is the master of the seven tribulations realm universe. It is also the most powerful Tianjiao in the Tiansong Palace at the same time. Now he is instructing his servants to welcome the guests of the ancestors. The old man Tiansong obviously raised the standard to the highest level with the arrival of Jian Wushuang and others. Not too long ago. Hearty laughter came from a distance. Feeling the presence of the ancestor, he hurriedly asked the servants to step back, and walked out with a smile on his face. Grandson, Yuwuji pays respect to the ancestor and to the seniors. But when he looked up at the distinguished guest behind the ancestor, he was stunned. The leader is a lord of the Seven Tribulations realm universe, and his aura is similar to his. There are also 3 Six Tribulations realm universe lords, and an ordinary woman behind. For a while, I was a little stunned, and I couldn't tell who was the distinguished guest. At this moment behind the ancestor, he felt a powerhouse that was very similar to the power of his own bloodline. Lord of the Gorefiend, the Lord of the 8 Tribulations realm universe. The restrained breath made Yuwuji just discovered. After recognizing the other party, his expression softened. If it weren't for the presence of the ancestors, I'm afraid I would be directly black-faced. Jian Wushuang also saw this subtle change, but he didn't care. They all know the relationship between the Gorefiend Hall Master and the old man Tiansong. The reason why there are no rumors. It is estimated that it is also a scandal, and I do not want to say it. The old man Tiansong introduced cheerfully. Senior brother Wuxia, little friend Wushuang. This Yuwuji is my junior, and he is one of the most dazzling people of his generation. Very good, the peak power is probably 5 million. Wuxia nodded lightly, and made some comments. When Yuwuji heard that the ancestor was so polite to the master of the 7 Tribulations realm universe, he even called senior brother, and his heart was extremely shaken. The key is to tell his true strength. A distinguished guest is a distinguished guest, and his vision and strength are not ordinary. Okay, let's sit at the table. Elder Tiansong raised his hand and invited everyone to enter the Yushu Palace. Wuxia was the first to walk in unceremoniously. Jian Wushuang and the others also followed. The moment I entered the Yushu Palace, I felt a burst of relaxation in my body and mind. The soul is completely empty, and the power of thought becomes extremely active. This has a great relationship with the origin in the hall. Senior Tiansong, in this jade tree, if I guess correctly, there should be a tree soul. And it's also a tree soul at the level of the 8 tribulations. Jian Wushuang walked to the edge of the jade tree, looked at it carefully and said the uniqueness of this Yushu. The old man Tiansong did not answer, but gave Yuwuji a wink. The other party immediately understood. Immediately stood up, explained the origin of Yushu to Jian Wushuang and others, and patted Jian Wushuang's flattery by the way. Jian Wushuang was a little embarrassed about this. Yuwuji, the lord of the 7 Tribulations realm universe, shouted at his predecessors, and his predecessors, which made him a little unaware of the truth. Although the strength is much stronger than the opponent, the realm is much worse. The other party is the master of the 7 Tribulations realm universe. He was only in the 6 Tribulations realm, so he was somewhat disrespectful. He didn't say anything more, and sat down honestly. He sat on the left side of the old man Tiansong, and he would beg the other party later, but he couldn't speak if he didn't sit closer. Wuxia was seated as a guest of honor. Next to Wuxia is Yuwuji. Yuwuji, who was sitting beside Wuxia, poured wine for Wuxia, and introduced the food on the table. All this must be the old man Tiansong, who reminded him secretly. For what, it is also very simple. Jian Wushuang didn't say anything, so he took the initiative to chat with the old man Tiansong. Knowing that Wuxia's words were not serious, the old man Tiansong was also willing to talk to Jian Wushuang. As for the others, they are more cautious. Gu, especially the Gorefiend Hall Master, felt uncomfortable after entering the Yushu Hall, and sat at the end. No one paid any attention to him. Even Dongsheng and Wanyan were sitting in front of him. Let the dignified Gorefiend Palace Master sit in the corner. I am afraid that Tiansong Palace has this ability. Yuwuji and Wuxia were bragging and chatting, and they talked about the battle just now. Hearing the Gorefiend Hall Master, he dared to attack Wuxia. He seized the opportunity at once, and stomped the Gorefiend Hall Master fiercely in words. Wuxia is very useful for this. Apparently, he remembered that slap well. Don't look at his frivolous surface, but his heart is like a mirror. Know why these people are so respectful. He himself is nothing but the Lord of the Seven Tribulations realm universe. The most important thing that can make the old man Tiansong take such care is the relationship with the realm king. At the same time, he is a direct disciple of the real king, and he will become a super strong in the future. Because these will be respected, the latter is not important, and it has nothing to do with them being super strong. The three ancient existences have the ability to become the nine tribulations realm. It's just that the northern time and space can't carry it. Moreover, they have all entered the world god continent and have the most knowledge. Knowing the appearance of the god of life will enhance the life of the entire northern time and space, and they will be able to break through at that time. After the breakthrough, he went to the world god continent to continue his journey. Now returning to the northern time and space, it is entirely because there is no way to improve in the world continent. I just returned to my hometown time and space, waiting for the appearance of the god of life. They can be said to be the first batch of practitioners who have benefited from the world god continent. The most reliant on the world god continent. After entering the world god continent, he grew to the limit. Then he thought of sending the younger generation to the world god continent to practice. If you want to go to the world god continent, you need the most crucial world god order. This kind of thing, only the realm king has. That's why he flattered Wuxia, the direct disciple of the enchantment king. The Gorfiend Hall master bowed his head to Wuxia because of this. After Yu Wuji learned about Wuxia's identity, she was even more attentive. Everything is for the good. This isn't actually a bad thing, just a hassle. Wuxia's expression was only vague, but his heart was disdainful. It is actually very easy to get the world god token. It can be obtained as long as it has made a great contribution to the northern time and space. For example, Jian Wushuang and others helped Dan Bao become the of life. As long as they come out alive from the Wanlu universe, everyone will get the world god token. It is not so easy to obtain the world god token for no reason. The realm king will not send it out at will. Because of limited places, the existence of the northern time and space is to breed more powerful practitioners, rather than humaneness. Even if Wuxia is the real disciple of the realm king, it is not so easy to get the extra realm orders. If it weren't for Jian Wushuang's request for the old man Tiansong, Wuxia himself would not want to pay attention to these people. The problem that Jian Wushuang was worried about was still here. Before he asked for help, others would ask him. If other conditions were met, he could do it. But he really couldn't do anything about the world god's order. He only had one in his hand. Chapter 5985. Although he was confused, he still expressed his demands first. Tiansong's face changed when he heard that the pyramid was repaired, but his heart was ecstatic, and he immediately responded. Senior Tiansong, your eyes. Jian Wushuang took out the pyramid on the spot, but it had shrunk to the size of a palm, and handed it to the old man Tiansong. The Gorfiend Hall master, who knew the power of the pyramid, couldn't help but look up. Just now he was almost killed by the attack from this pyramid. Especially knowing that this pyramid is still damaged, his eyes are even more startled. The well-informed old man Tiansong was not too shocked by this. He is a super strong man, who has been to the world god continent. He has seen many treasures, and he himself has treasures at the level of the 9 tribulations. Although the pyramid was powerful, he still recognized it at a glance. This pyramid must be the treasure of the mechanical race from the southern time and space. After careful observation, the old man Tiansong continued, and it was created by the metal light brain of a special ethnic group in the mechanical race. It is very special. Jian Wushuang was stunned when he heard the mechanic. Metal light brain he knows, but it was the first time he heard about the mechanical race. Through the explanation of the old man Tiansong, he realized that the life structure of the southern time and space is very different from the northern time and space. It's not as simple as it seems. The machine race is actually the same as the human race. They are both groups born in time and space. It's just that the level of life is different. The human race is highly savvy. The mechanical family is extremely talented in creating treasures. Its combat power may be average. But using some treasures, he was able to fight with the super powerhouses of the human race. And extremely difficult. Senior, is there a way to completely repair this pyramid? Jian Wushuang still asked what he was most worried about. The stronger this pyramid is, the more he has to repair it. Otherwise, he would have no confidence in his heart if he went back to deal with destruction. After hearing this, Tian Song smiled lightly. Young friend Wushuang, we are all our own people. Since you have opened your mouth, I will help you with this matter. But it is very difficult to repair it completely. It's impossible to get up and repair. But I'm sure I can recover 70%. 70%. That is already the limit of the old man Tiansong. Among the three ancient existences, the old man Tiansong was the oldest. It also takes the longest time to be at the top. After failing to find a way forward, he began to study all kinds of sideways. He knows a lot about the secret methods of the mechanical family. After all, the powerhouses of the mechanical race are not strong themselves, and they rely on the treasure to win. He wanted to try this route from the beginning. After reaching the peak, although the king of the realm said that he must wait for the appearance of the god of life to break through the 9 tribulations realm. But the first class is countless epochs. Nature will not wait. They are all studying other secrets. For example, creating stronger secret methods, or researching casting, alchemy and origin. As long as they can improve their combat power, or assist in combat, they all hunt. Among them, the old man Tiansong, who was very obsessed with casting, chose the peak secret method of the mechanical family. It is already possible to refine some common-level mechanical treasures, such as the 8 Tribulations Realm Universe treasures. Now that Jian Wushuang took out the treasure of the mechanical family, at the level of the 9 Tribulations, he didn't have much confidence. To be able to say 70% is already a bit exaggerated. The harder it is to say, the more favor Jian Wushuang owes. At that time, it is also possible to raise the matter of the world god's order. Even if he couldn't come up with the world god token, he would still help Jian Wushuang. Not only to curry favor with Wuxia. More importantly, he is optimistic about Jian Wushuang. The strength of Jian Wushuang is obvious to all. It's not as simple as life force. There is also a relationship with the god of life, as well as his own combat power. All deserve their help. Now is the help in the snow, and making friends in the future will be the icing on the cake. Chicheng. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath and said in his heart, "That's enough." The current pyramid, according to the old man Tiansong, is basically a shell. A little can be fixed. He is also satisfied. Little friend Wushuang, let me say a personal word. You have the order of the world god. And after the strength is further improved, you can go to the world continent, where can there be a 9 tribulation realm powerhouse. And there are also mechanical clans. The 9 tribulations realm powerhouse can completely ask the other party to help repair the pyramid at that time. But the price will not be small. Jian Wushuang does not know much about the world god continent. But I also understand that where are the 4 major time and space, and some powerhouses in the starry sky. It is a continent of different time and space. It is normal to have a strong person in the 9 tribulations realm. Right now I can only do this first. Jian Wushuang picked up the wine bottle and said loudly. This time, there is Senior Lao. If you need to speak up, the junior will definitely do what he can. The fixed thing is solved. Next, some repair treasures are needed. To repair the treasures of the mechanical family, you can't repair the broken copper and iron in the northern time and space. A strong man who has been to the world god continent. He knew the old man Tiansong and Wuxia. Wuxia went to the realm god continent, just to play, always following the realm king. There will be treasures of the mechanical family. So he had to buy it from the other party. Helping to fix it, that would be a big boon. You can't let the other party out with the treasure. At the beginning of refining the sword of myriad tribulations, it was only one time that he smashed the stars. You can't always take advantage of others. Jian Wushuang also thought about it. As long as the old man Tiansong opened his mouth, he would agree to everything. Even if it is the order of the world god. If it's a big deal, he will tell the other party his world order. Anyway, he didn't plan to go to the world god continent. Even if he needs to go in the future, it's a big deal for him to ask the Realm King for mercy. Of course, if the old man Tiansong didn't want the world god's order, it would be better. In addition to the treasures that he uses, he can give it to the other party. It's all my own. Why be so polite? I have a lot of treasures from the mechanic family. They are all trophies, nothing to talk about. The old man Tiansong was extremely arrogant, and he didn't mention anything in return. But the more he said that, Jian Wushuang was overwhelmed. If it is Wu Zua, I am afraid that at this time, he will start to pretend to be dead and not speak. Back in the Qi Temple, Wu Zua did not miss out on treasures from the true spirit, just because of his thick skin. But Jian Wushuang couldn't stand this kind of thing. It's harder to owe someone something than someone else owes you something. The old man Tiansong also saw this, and he would always apologize. If it was Wu Zua, he would not be so apologetic. After all, after living for so many years, who has not seen it before, and can still be pitted by two juniors? No. Jian Wushuang shook his head firmly. Senior has repaired the treasure for me for free. How many treasures are needed for the repair materials? I have to come out. The old man Tiansong also stood up, patted Jian Wushuang on the shoulder and said, "No need. This old man has accumulated a lot of money over the years. Everyone is from the northern time and space, and we will go to the world god continent together in the future, and we have to help each other. What kind of treasure is this?" You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.